A qualitative biomechanical breakdown of a free throw. Presentation by Candice Hopkins. The elite performance is going to be done by Chastity Patterson during the Kentucky versus Florida game on February 2nd, 2020. There are 4 phases that are going to occur during a free throw. As you can see here, you have the shot prep phase, the shooting position phase, the shooting release phase, and the follow-through phase. Chastity is going to be standing on the free throw line with her feet in neutral to start and then going into plantar flexion. She will remain flexed at the knees, hips, and elbows through phases 1 through 2, and while 3, she goes into some slight extension, and then while in phase 4, she is completely extended. She will completely extend the knees and elbows to help with her shot. This will occur to help with the flight of the ball to become a projectile. During phase 4, she's going to come up onto her toes, which will put her into terminal plantar flexion. She will not leave the ground, so there will not be displacement during this shot. As you can see here, the ball goes into the tip of her fingers and never sits in the palm of her hands. This is to help cause a topspin or a Magnus effect on the ball so that it will have a lift force and drop into the rim. 360 view of my athlete. The athlete that was used for this free throw analysis is a 5'4" or 162.5 centimeter Caucasian female that is 43 years of age, that weighs 156 pounds or 70.76 kgs. This individual played basketball for 5 years but has not played in the last 5 years. This shot was done prior to a warm-up. Before corrections, I noticed that my athlete had too much flexion in the elbows. We would need to ensure that she did not flex the elbows too much during phases 1 and 2. We want to get there near the end of phase 2 and going into phase 3. My athlete also needed to bend her knees more during phases 1 and 2 along with the trunk. This was resisting her getting her full load. The athlete was also instructed to relax the body and to not push the ball as much. She was not what you would call rainbowing the shot. My athlete also left the ground or jumped and stayed in place. We will also need to instruct the athlete to ensure that she is going to stay planted on the ground and put her toes into plantar flexion. My athlete was also in plantar flexion at the beginning of the shot. After corrections. After the corrections, we got the athlete to drop her shoulders into neutral. We also noticed that the athlete was able to keep her feet on the ground and that her knees were flexed more during phases 1 and 2. As you can see, she started to make shots. As the athlete started to make shots, we noticed that she was able to now stand with her feet shoulder width apart and that she was going more through with the follow-through phase, which means that she was extending the elbows more and bringing the shoulders into flexion at the appropriate times. The athlete was also then able to put the ball at the tips of her fingers and to cause a Magnus effect on the ball, which means that the ball was going to go through the rim. The athlete, as you can see here on the back view, was also aligned better with the basketball goal than she was in the beginning, meaning that when this topspin happened, she was able to score the shot. Lastly, just to make it known, this shot was performed on an outside court, which was very different from what Chastity's shot was. These lines were drawn on, and this was done outside.